Not like go overboard or treat it as like a chance to eat like an asshole for a week. What's up, guys? It's Kara here, and I am back in my living room doing a fireside chat with everyone. I hope you guys aren't getting sick of these talks. I wanted to kind of take advantage right now of not being in prep to do some more informative videos, more helpful videos to hopefully reach you guys and give you motivation in a different aspect of your life versus just competing. However, I will say I am going to be prepping fairly soon, so I will have a series for that prep coming up where I am going to share a lot of my prep, because I know my last prep I didn't really share as much, so I do plan to do that in the near future. But for this video, I wanted to update you guys on where I'm at coming back from vacation, and kind of makes sense for me to also talk about how to get yourself back on track, either when you've kind of fallen off the wagon, or in my case, I've been sick this past week, so I wanted to kind of give some helpful tips for what to do to get yourself back on track after those things occur, because those can be crucial times where people kind of just lose sight of their goals and how hard they've worked, and it can be really tough. So for me, with Jason and I going to Mexico for a week, I had been reverse dieting, but I had planned like for so long that this trip I was going to not count macros. I was going to do what I wanted to do, not like go overboard or treat it as like a chance to eat like an asshole for a week. But more or less, like if I wanted to work out, I would. If I didn't, I wouldn't. No big deal. I just wanted to like feel like a normal person for 1 week and not feel bad about it and not have any emotional attachment to it. So we went down there, and that's pretty much what I did. I didn't really track at all. I wouldn't say like I don't feel like I ate like an asshole, but what I will say is it's mentally hard when you've been in such a deficit for so long, and for myself eaten so restrictive for so long, to then go on a trip and eat quote unquote normal, which to me ends up being like double the carbs that my body was used to, probably double the fat, not as much protein, to be honest. So it was hard to kind of not be a little sensitive. I kind of was like trying not to be hard on myself, at the same time not use it as an excuse to just eat my face off. And I felt like I did okay, you guys. Like honestly, the food there was okay. It wasn't anything that incredible. Like breakfast was probably my biggest indulgence, with waffles with lots of peanut butter and syrup and things like that. And I did snack more than I normally do, which I'm normally not like a big snacker. But I think because it was more of a low-key vacation, I snacked a little bit more. All in all, like nothing was that big of a deal, but I did end up getting really sick down there, which has led into I'm going on almost a week basically since I got sick. And when I got back home, I started to feel, I think I went from like a GI issue to a sinus, cold flu type symptoms. So I've basically been run down all week, had not worked out for a week, did not track macros, like a little bit, kind of spotty throughout the week. But when I'm sick, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I don't want any protein. Like eating eggs and chicken and fish does not sound good to me when I'm sick. Like I want soup and ice cream and diet soda and carbs like crackers. And I get really finicky and picky, and I could care less about my goals or my gains or anything like that. So that's kind of how the week went. And I did lose, like I went back to the gym this week and I feel like I lost a lot of energy. But I was at the point where I felt like it wasn't going to be harmful for me to go into the gym and do what I can do. So that would be my advice for you guys. If you're sick, there's not like one black and white answer I can give you on that, depending on what your situation is, what you're sick with. Just kind of listen to your body. And sometimes you do feel better if you just go to the gym, get a small workout in, sweat it out a little bit. Sometimes you can feel much better. Sometimes you could even prevent feeling worse by going to the gym and doing that. So, just listen to your body and see how it goes. For me, I think between the traveling, the GI bug, whatever it was I got in Mexico, had me totally run down. I haven't felt this run down in a long time. And I was sleeping great, eating plenty, taking care of myself. You know what I mean? So it was weird being out of the gym for a week. I hadn't done that in a while. So it's kind of that crucial point right now for me to kind of pick the reins back up and, think about how I'm going to tackle these upcoming holiday weeks. A lot of times I probably would have used this as an excuse to say, you know what, I already haven't been on track. I'm just going to kind of enjoy the holidays and ride it out and just have fun with it. I've already maybe gained a couple extra pounds. Why not? That could be the approach I could take. And I know a lot of people take that approach maybe. But I keep thinking about the fact that I do have a goal. That goal is still there. It's still present in my mind, and it's competing this spring and getting my pro card as an IFPA pro. So I don't want to just, and even regardless of that goal, I feel better when I eat healthier. Just eating whatever I wanted in Mexico was fun, but I didn't feel as good as when I'm at home, in a more controlled environment, even going out to eat here. The food is just different in Mexico. You don't know what kind of stuff they're putting in it, and my body just wasn't used to that. I digress. But so for me, I decided to get back to the gym this weekend, refocus, and let's figure out what my goals are. So that would be my tip for you guys. If you are getting over being sick, number one, try to get yourself back into the gym as soon as you can. Don't get me wrong, give yourself the time to rest that your body needs. I haven't taken a week off in the gym in such a long time. It can actually help your progress to give your body a break. Let it rest, let it recover, and kind of get that fire back in your belly if maybe you're lacking a little motivation or maybe it's just not as exciting as it once was. Give yourself that rest and then get back at it. And with that being said, I suggest you write down what your goals are. Have some specific goals and don't just set these far out long-term goals. I want to become a pro or I want to do a bikini competition someday. Even that's a long-term goal. Write down some short-term goals that you have for the week at hand or even the next day. If taking it a day at a time is a little less cumbersome for your mind, then do it like that and kind of set some goals for each day of the week or just the week at hand. And I think that's key for you guys coming into holiday season. There are so many opportunities to lose sight of our health this time of year, and I think that's really what it's about. It's not about being shredded and in the single-digit body fat club. It's about being healthy and feeling good about ourselves. And I'm at a place where I'm not willing to do things that are going to compromise my self-esteem and make me hate myself because I made bad choices or something. So, for me last week, even though I was sick and couldn't work out, I had some holiday parties and things like that to go to. And I decided I wasn't going to stress it. I wasn't going to have anxiety about it. I was going to just listen to my body, eat what sounded good at the time, and just eat a smaller portion of stuff and not overfill myself. And I was able to do that. I enjoyed a little bit of different things that people brought in, even had a little slice of pie. But just allowing myself to have a little bit of stuff and not tell myself, no, you can't have any of that, or, only eat to some people what are safe foods. I just ate whatever I wanted, but in a small, healthy amount. I ate slow, and I enjoyed it, and I did not go overboard. And that's probably the first time at my work holiday party I haven't just stuffed myself like a pig like I do every year. So I was pretty proud of that, but that was partially due to feeling a little bit nauseous. Pardon me while I get a little drink, a little Branch Chain Gains, my watermelon. Nighttime favorite, and has been helping me get my fluids in while I've been sick, so I highly recommend that. But for this upcoming week, again, I have parties, things going out to dinner, Christmas is coming up. Write down for yourself some of your goals for the week. Do you plan to go out to eat and indulge yourself and have treats 3 times a week, 1 time a week? Like, what's okay? For you, write down what makes sense for your plan of action for that week. And if you write it down and see it and visualize it, the odds are you're going to stay on track. If you don't write anything down, or even if you don't write it down, maybe you just have it in your head, or maybe I have it on my phone, I have the note so I can kind of scratch things down there. To just kind of write it down makes it a little more real and tangible. You can kind of focus on it a little bit more and have more of that commitment to it versus just being interested, like I've talked about in my previous videos. So I think that's a key thing you can do to get yourself back on track. The other thing I want to say too, say if you're coming off being sick like myself, or maybe you binged or had a bad few days and you're struggling to get back on track, don't take the next day to restrict. Don't say, you know what, tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to eat, I'm going to have no carbs and I'm just going to have protein shakes, and that's going to set you up for failure. I highly advise against that. Even if you've binged, the next day when you get up, have a well-balanced breakfast. And I know you may wake up and feel full, but this will be the one time I'm going to advise you to not be an intuitive eater. I want you to get up in the morning, drink ample amount of water, drink lots of fluids to rehydrate yourself. A lot of weight gain is going to occur with, being bloated from the sodium and the sugar retention from the water. So drink lots of fluid to kind of help push some of that stuff out. It'll automatically make you feel better if you drink some fluids. And start your day with a well-balanced, high-fiber breakfast, because that's going to help you to feel full and satisfied and prevent you from, even if you wake up feeling full, a lot of times what happens is you go about your day and it just hits you and you crash from everything you've eaten and digesting everything. You totally crash and you think, oh, I'm never going to eat like that again. And next thing you know, you find yourself eating like that again, right? It turns into this downward spiral. So I really advise you to get up, have a well-balanced breakfast. What I mean by that is not Pop-Tarts and tilapia. I'm talking about from a dietitian perspective. When I say a well-balanced breakfast, I'm saying have a little bit of something from each of the food groups. So maybe have yourself an omelet, some eggs or egg whites with lots of veggies in there to add in some fiber, add in some vegetables, add in a little bulk. Have some fruit with it. Maybe have a little cheese on your omelet for some dairy, or a glass of milk if you do dairy. Have some oatmeal with it, high fiber cereals of some sort, whole wheat toast, a little bit of fat in there, maybe spread a little peanut butter in your toast. Have a nice filling breakfast to start your day. Don't wake up with the mindset that you have to restrict yourself. Wake up with the mindset that I'm going to nourish my body today. Today I'm going to take care of my body and feed it what it needs to feel good and healthy. And I know for me, I kind of got to the point this week not eating very consistent, being sick, feeling well, I'm never going to get better if I don't start getting all the proper vitamins and minerals into my body that I need. Soup and crackers and Edie's light ice cream doesn't cut it, and diet soda. And I know this, but you kind of lose sight of that. We all do. So just refocus yourself and kind of have a plan of action to think about, instead of just eating, living to eat and eating to live. It's two different concepts, and we've kind of blurred the line there a little bit. But start thinking about what things you can add in your diet to feel better about yourself, feel healthier, and just forget about it. If you've binged, forget about it, put it in the past, and don't sit there and shame yourself all day and feel bad about it. Not to say it isn't a bad thing, but I think some people get so caught up in hating themselves over stuff that causes that cascade of bad events to occur, where you can't just stop those bad eating habits. So just pick yourself up that next day and try to focus on getting in some healthier foods. And I promise you'll feel better. Between that, drinking lots of fluids, setting your plan for the week, having some small goals within the week to reach, Like for me, I'm going out to dinner this week with my coworkers, and I don't want to use it as an excuse to eat a bunch of crap because it's Christmas this week, and I'd rather save my refeed day or my eating what I want day for Christmas. So going out to eat with my coworkers, my goal for that day is to come to work prepared, number one. I don't want to come to work without having food prepared. That'll set myself up for failure. So I'm going to plan to have lots of food with me that day, to eat healthy, nourishing foods to keep me full, satisfied. When I go out to dinner that night, I just want to have like a good balanced meal, like a nice, healthy looking salad with some lean meat in it. Maybe a glass of wine, maybe like, a roll with it, a little something like that, but nothing too overboard. I'm not going to get like a big slice of cake or anything like that. So, I'm just talking about me, you guys. Everyone's goals are going to look a little bit different. But that can really help keep you on track, is being able to visualize that stuff. So I recommend you do that. In terms of stepping on the scale, this can go either way. For me, sometimes I like to step on the scale, like after being sick all week and not working out, I wanted to step on the scale and after Mexico and see where the heck I was at, because I knew some of that was not reality. I was okay with that. I was prepared to see the number on the scale and know that that probably wasn't 100% factual, but I was ready to see it and work with it. If you feel like you're going to step on the scale and it's going to make your self-esteem worse, it's not going to motivate you, it's not going to help you, then don't do it. Throw that out the door. Focus on how you're feeling, how you're looking. What I will say, though, is sometimes, and I've been guilty of this too, sometimes we don't step on the scale because we're afraid to face the reality of what we've been doing, or what damage maybe we've done, or how, we know we've been eating bad, not working out, not making good choices, not sleeping good. Well, I'm just not going to step on the scale for a long time. Sometimes if you just get on the scale, though, and face that reality of where things are at, even though, like I said, it's not 100% reality, sometimes just stepping on the scale and seeing it can kind of help you go, oh shit. Or maybe you don't say oh shit, but maybe you do say oh shit. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't think it had gotten to this place. Everyone kind of has their comfortable range, your comfortable zone for your weight. And a lot of people have that point. Once they get above that, that's where they're like, nope, I'm done. This is it. I'm done. Time to make changes. And all of a sudden you're motivated. And sometimes that's what we need. So while I'm not like a huge advocate as the scale being your only measure of progress, sometimes you just need it to kick you in the butt and get started and get back on track. So just assess what motivates you and what helps you. The other thing I would advise too, obviously, is be prepared throughout the week. You got to have a game plan. You got to have those goals. You got to be prepared with what choices you're going to make. It's like anything else in life. If you don't have a plan, the odds of you meeting all those goals are going to be difficult. And same with your eating choices. You kind of have to have somewhat of a plan. I don't mean obsess over it and the only thing you think about is food all day, but just have some kind of game plan for what you're going to do in terms of your food choices throughout the week. And the last thing I would say too is definitely focusing on your sleep. Your sleep is key, whether it's binging or you're getting sick or you've been off the diet train, what have you. If you're not well rested, that's going to contribute to your energy levels, your mood, how your mindset, how you're thinking. It plays into so many different things. Your health, obviously. So try to prioritize that sleep. Never mind, scratch that. Don't try. Prioritize it. A lot of people don't. And you need to find a way to figure out what it is that you need to do differently to get enough sleep at night so you can feel well and rested and have that energy. And the last thing I do want to say too, specifically for those that have maybe binged or maybe you just feel like you've fallen off track a bit, something I like to tell my clients to do is kind of go back through and play that story through your head again. What happened? And write it down maybe in a journal if you feel comfortable doing so, or even if you type it online and then erase it afterwards because you don't want to save it. But kind of type through like what happened, like what happened during that time frame, during those few days that caused you to binge, or like what happened before you went and drove through 4 different drive-thrus, or went and got the whole bag of cookies, you know, and really focusing on finding out what those things were that triggered you, and what emotions you felt surrounding it. So what emotions were there that triggered you, and how did you feel during the binge and after the binge, and really kind of writing it down and working through it, because you know, part of fixing those behaviors is really just identifying what's causing it. And usually there's some type of pattern with what's causing those things. So the sooner you start to kind of face reality of what is triggering you, the quicker you can kind of identify some things to put in place to help you, because those triggers are going to be there. You can never completely remove triggers, remove your emotions. It's about working with it and figuring out how you can go about kind of, you know, tricking your mind a bit. And if a certain thing triggers you to do something, we have to find little tricks on how to kind of change your mindset or trick it a bit, that you're not so likely to go binge or go overboard. And that's a very vague suggestion to you guys, but try it out. And obviously, like working with a coach or a dietitian, there's a lot of behavioral therapists out there that work with these types of issues, and it's a big issue out there right now. So that's why we're obese in this country, in many countries. It's the behaviors we have. So it's starting to identify what those behaviors are so you can prevent them in the future. And it doesn't mean perfection. No one's ever going to be perfect. It's just about minimizing them, or maybe acknowledging them sometimes is the goal, to acknowledge it. And then you learn from it, and it's a work in progress. So I think I've rambled awfully long. So I hope you guys are still with me and enjoyed this video. Hopefully there was some good information in there for you. Hopefully I'm feeling better myself this week, but I do plan to stay on track. I got back in the gym this weekend and I'm feeling a little bit better. So good night's sleep for me tonight, and then I will be back hopefully with more lively energy for you guys with future videos. So before I go, one more thing I did want to mention that I kind of mentioned in my other video. Some exciting news for you guys who need help getting on track either now or after the holidays. It should be coming out soon. I co-authored with Mark. It's a 12-week plan. It's basically, I guess, an ebook, if you will, an ebook or an article, but that's going to be coming very soon. So I don't have all the details on it yet, but what I will say is it's based on sound scientific principles, you guys. So it's nothing like hocus pocus, some random selling you a $50 meal plan. There's a lot of good information in there, especially for females. And if you're someone that can't afford a coach, and you're just like struggling and you need new motivation, and you just are not sure where to start, this is going to be the ebook for you. And if I didn't already mention this, it is going to be free, so you don't need to worry about being able to afford it. This is free information that Mark and I have worked on to provide you guys to kind of help you out and give you a good baseline of where to start. You know, where to start with your workouts, with your supplements, with your diet. You know, all good information. It's all science-based, and I think you guys are really going to love it. So I will have more information on that very soon. As to when it's coming out and when you can get it. I think you'll be able to download it online. So I will give you guys more information on that. Comment below if you're interested in that, and let me know what other topics you guys would like me to discuss, or let me know if you're sick of seeing me in my living room if you're still with me. So that'll be it for this video. Hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. A good amount of time at what we do is we go into the like Jason wanted to go show me something out that he'd like, or something like this, and just kind of about what your partner you know, we went into a few stores he'd like, and because we spent so much time just both exhausted, to the mall and pick up. I know for me it's shopping for Jason and do shop for, because they never want, it's like $5,000, which I'm clearly not buying.
I just bought it. So
that's my tip for you. That's why we had no gifts, and Jason made mention of that in dinner.